So, would you like to run an idol cafe? Well, I can see the initial attraction, the chance to hang out with attractive young ladies bursting out skimpy maid outfits and so on, but you have to consider the downside. Working in a cafe is hard, and then there's the unreasonable customers, the random visits from the health inspectors, and the possibility of the whole thing going bust and losing you your job. All in all, best avoided. I'd rather stay home and play a visual novel featuring attractive young ladies bursting out of skimpy maid outfits. So I did that instead. Would You Like to Run an Idle Cafe is a rather good visual novel from Winged Cloud, set in a small seaside cafe. Our hero, Naoya, isn't just your average teenage non-entity, but a former juvenile delinquent who failed his exams and is now trying to return to the straight and narrow with the only job he could get. His boss, Miss Miyamori, knows all about his shady background and is willing to give him a chance anyway. I get the impression that she has a thing for bad boys. This makes it all the more disappointing that she isn't a potential waifu. No MILF action for our hero, not this time anyway. I don't know what happens in the sequels. There are 3 waifus: Miyuki, a fairly standard tsundere character, who is hostile to our hero at the beginning but gradually softens. Ku, a weird, pretentious goth with a fondness for tarot cards. And Naoya's childhood friend and flatmate Ichigo, a bubbly bundle of fun with an idol obsession. There is also a harem ending for the indecisive or just plain greedy. And so we have our setup. But there's more! Naoya isn't the only one that failed his exams. Miyuki and Ku did as well, so the 3 of them decide to study together, with a little help from Ichigo. She passed her exams and is now training to be a nurse. Also, the cafe is going broke and everyone needs to rally round to save it. So, Ichigo suggests turning the waitresses into idols to attract the customers, singing and dancing as well as handing the plates around, that sort of thing. Will this work out? We have to wait for part 2 to find out, as this ends on a cliffhanger. I presume it does. If this fails and the cafe goes bust, then part 3 will be a bit pointless. This lasted me about 3 hours. There isn't much difference between the various endings, so don't feel obliged to chase them all. There's no voice acting and no animation. The fan service is pretty much non-existent. Apparently there's an adult patch on the website, but I didn't bother with it. This is one to play for the story rather than the boobs. I really enjoyed this. The characters are a bit more fleshed out than usual, and you really start to sympathise with them and want them to succeed. I recommend this and will be playing through part 2 soon. Give it a go.